cruelest thing someone did out of love. I was 28 when this crazy woman cornered me at my coffee shop, crying and saying I had our mother's eyes. I told her she was crazy. My biological mother lost her life giving birth to me. That's what my adoptive parents always said when they called me their miracle baby. But then she told me she was my younger sister Neja, and that our real mother had just died 3 months ago after searching for me for 10 years. I laughed in her face and called her sick, but she just handed me an envelope and left. Look when you're ready. I looked inside the envelope that night, and really I wish I hadn't. The first thing I saw were hospital records from the day I was born. My biological mother was 17 when she had me, alive, not dead like I was told, just young and broke and scared. She had to give me up for adoption because she had no income and no way to provide for me. But that didn't mean she forgot about me. There were photos of her lighting birthday candles in empty apartments year after year. 28 candles on the last one, singing happy birthday to a daughter who wasn't there. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the pictures. I wanted to scream. I wanted to drive to my parents' house right then and flip their dining room table. I wanted to find this woman in the photos and tell her I existed, I was here, I was real. Then I found the surveillance photos that made me vomit into my kitchen sink. My sister Neja at my college graduation, sitting 3 rows behind my parents. At my wedding, watching from across the street. On the bench at Rittenhouse Square where I walk my dog every morning. She'd been living in Philadelphia for 10 years. 10 years. She'd moved here for art school and never left, just circling my life like some heartbroken ghost, too scared to say hello. Her letter explained, I practiced what I'd say to you 1,000 times, in coffee shops, at the grocery store. I'd see you and my heart would stop and I'd think, today I'll tell her. But then I'd remember your adoptive father's letters, the threats. What if they took you away somehow? What if you hated me for ruining your life? So I just watched. I'm so sorry. I just wanted to know my sister. My adoptive parents had been sending Neja and my mother cease and desist letters since I was 5. My adoptive father, a respected judge, was using his courthouse letterhead to threaten my mother with legal action if she ever tried to contact me. Then I saw a letter from my biological mother begging for just one photo. I won't contact her, I promise. Just one picture so I can sleep at night. My adoptive mother had written, return to sender, across it with a black marker. I didn't understand. How could they do this? How could they steal my entire history and call it love? The last page destroyed me completely. A photo from 3 months ago. Our biological mother in a hospital bed, dying of cancer, clutching my college graduation photo. The only picture of me she ever had, cut from a newspaper. Neja's note said, she kept asking where you were. I told her you were coming. I lied and said you were stuck in traffic, that you'd be there any minute. She waited for you until the very end. The nurses thought she was confused, calling for a daughter who never visited. I couldn't tell them you were living 12 miles away. Her last words were, tell her I loved her every single day. So I'm telling you, she loved you every single day. I drove to my adoptive parents' house at midnight and pounded at the door until my father answered. I threw the papers at his chest and asked, what is this? Is this real? My mother came downstairs, saw Neja's photo on the floor, and immediately started sobbing. That's how I knew it was true. She kept saying, we did it out of love, like that made it okay, while my father admitted everything. Turns out, the adoption wasn't even legal. They'd paid someone to skip the screening process. And when my biological mother reached out years later, they panicked thinking they could face criminal charges if she knew her rights. So they used my father's position and scared them into never contacting me. My mother grabbed my hands with tears streaming down her face. You were our miracle, our whole world. We couldn't lose you. I screamed at her in shock. Are you crazy? Even if I was contacted by my bio mom, that wouldn't have meant I would leave you alone. I could have had you both. 2 sets of perfect mothers. Instead, you kept me in the dark while keeping away my real family. That wasn't love, that was control. I ripped away my hands and asked if they knew Neja had sat outside my wedding. If they knew my mother died 12 miles away calling for me. My father raised his voice. We gave you everything, even paid for your private school. I replied, money won't erase 28 years worth of lies. All I heard was my mother's scream as I drove away.